Jazakallah, Brother Muhammad Shaikh. Now I would like to open the session for question and answers. The format is as such that ladies will be given the opportunity to ask their questions, and once we have covered the ladies' side, the mic will be rolled over to the gentleman's side, and then they can ask their questions. But I would like to request that please make sure that these questions are pertaining to the topic. They're concise and brief questions. I will not allow for any debates or any discussions unless and until Brother Muhammad Shaikh himself allows. If you'd like to debate, or if you have any other questions, you can contact our office and you can ask for an appointment at a later date after Eid, inshallah. So we'll start with the ladies first, and I would request Brother Muhammad Shaikh to please come up to the dais again and answer the questions. Brother Muhammad Shaikh.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I saw a movie named 10 Commandments in which Moses was from Egypt. Does the Quran confirm this?
Yes. Sir, question is that Musa salam, Quran mentions Egypt in the Quran. You'll be surprised to know that in the whole book Quran, Misr in Arabic, Misr, Egypt is mentioned. Medina is mentioned. Mecca is mentioned. Madian is mentioned. Midain is mentioned. Allah has mentioned there are many cities. Ummul Qura, mother of cities, Mecca. But the names are only these. Now her question is that Quran mentions Musa as the Bible mentions in the Egypt in Arabic is Misr. So I will read few ayahs related to confirming that Musa salam was in the Egypt. Az-Zukhruf 43 and ayah 51. وَنَادَى فِرْعَوْنُ فِي قَوْمِهِ قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ أَلَيْسَ لِي مُلْكُ مِصْرَ وَهَذِهِ الْأَنْهَارُ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِي أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And the Pharaoh called in his people, he said, O my people, is it not the kingdom of Egypt, Misr, for me, and the stream that run underneath me, so don't you have sight? This Pharaoh is mentioned with Misr. We have to find out Musa salam. In Surah Al-Qasas 28, ayah 4, Inna Fir'auna ala fil ard, wa ja'ala ahlaha shi'a, yastad'ifu ta'ifatum minhum, yudhabbihu abna'ahum, wa yastahyi nisa'ahum, innahu kana minal mufsidin. And the Pharaoh become high, mighty, and dignified in the earth, and he made his people into groups, sects. From them he slaughters their sons, and he shames keep alive the women. He was from the ones, the corrupting, or the ones who are corrupt. Now in this ayah we came to know the Pharaoh was in the Egypt first of all, and then he was become very strong and mighty, and he was killing the sons, psychologically and physical killing. His main motive was to kill young boys, and keep alive the women. So now this was the situation in Egypt and Misr, and how Allah saved Musa salam. You see, beauty is Al-Qasas 28 and ayah 7. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَىٰ أَنْ أَرْضِعِهِ فَإِذَا خِفْتِ عَلَيْهِ فَأَلْقِيهِ فِي الْيَمِّ وَلَا تَخَافِي وَلَا تَحْزَنِي إِنَّ رَادُّوهُ إِلَيْكَ وَجَعِلُوهُ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And we inspired to Musa's mother. We inspired to mother of Musa that feed him. So if you feared on him, throw him in the sea. And you do not fear and you do not grieve. We will return him to you and will make him from the messengers. The birth of Musa was given, and her mother was feared because he was slaughtering the sons, children, boys, young boys. So she was feared of the boy, the child. He was so young, Musa she was feeding. So Allah says to her, inspired her to throw the child in the river, or in the sea. Portion of the sea, or whatever, the yummy in Arabic. And do not be grieved, and do not be fearful. We will bring back to you. So in Al-Qasas 28 and ayah, فَالْتَقَطَهُ آلُ فِرْعَوْنَ لِيَكُونَ لَهُمْ عَدُوًّا وَحَزَنًا إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ وَهَامَانَ وَجُنُودَهُمَا كَانُوا خَاطِئِينَ. So the follower of the Pharaoh found and picked him up, Musa salam, so that he be from them an enemy, and sadness, grief, Pharaoh. They are picking him, they don't know that this Musa salam will bring sadness to Pharaoh and his people. Surely Pharaoh and Haman, both of their forces, were those who commit mistakes. Now this ayat I am reading simply to identify the followers of Pharaoh pick up the child. How the child, Musa salam, was in Pharaoh's house. So the followers of Pharaoh pick up the child, and maybe they took him to Pharaoh to slaughter. Now in Surah 28 and ayah 9, وَقَالَتِ امْرَأَةُ فِرْعَوْنَ قُرَّةُ عَيْنٍ لِي وَلَكَ لَا تَقْتُلُوهُ عَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعَنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. And the wife of the Pharaoh said, the child is coolness of eyes for me and for you. Perhaps he might be beneficial for us. We take him as a son. And they were not conscious what is going to happen. So now I am trying to establish how Musa salam was taken by the forces of the followers of Pharaoh in Egypt. And in this ayah, the wife of the Pharaoh, they did not have a child. This mighty Pharaoh, everything, Allah did not give him a child. Allah has plans. So this child, Musa salam, was taken as a son by Pharaoh and Pharaoh's wife. Pharaoh's wife was more towards the liking of this Musa salam. She said to the Pharaoh, we will take him as a son. In other words, don't kill him. But they were not conscious, they were not conscious to what was Allah's plan. So they took him as a son. But in the movie, it was not the Pharaoh who took him as a son, some other thing. In the Quran, Pharaoh took him up. Pharaoh and his wife adopted Musa alayhi salam. In the movie, they don't show that. So we are confirmed that Pharaoh was in the Egypt, Misr, and they took up the son, was also in the Egypt. So this Musa was, so to say, brought up by Pharaoh and his wife in Egypt. That was the question. Okay.